guys, welcome back to another Dragon Ball FighterZ video. Today we're going to be talking about buffs and nerfs that could be coming to the game because we have good reason to believe from Bandai Namco's tweet that we're going to be receiving a balance patch for Dragon Ball FighterZ, which could see to it that some characters get nerfed into the ground like Heart Virus Goku did, and some characters could receive a massive buff. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I definitely want your thoughts about this topic in the comments down below. But check it out, before we get into it, if you're new to the community, consider subscribing. I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with all of the latest information for Dragon Ball FighterZ. So first things first, man, Gogeta. Can we all agree that, like, some of the frame data on this guy's attacks could use a little bit of help? I know a lot of people go ahead and they talk about how his buttons are slow, and as a result, they place him kind of low on the tier lists. Now, I did hear a Gogeta player go ahead and say how Gogeta is actually really strong, and they advocated for Gogeta being higher on tier lists, saying that he's extremely underexplored and extremely underdeveloped by the community, similarly to how base Vegeta was, and now base Vegeta's amongst the top. And I can totally see that, I can totally buy that. But even with that said, I wouldn't mind some better frame data on this guy, not at all. I'm gonna be honest, I think base Goku, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin are all pretty solid. I think they're all in a really good place. I don't know these characters to a massive extent though, so if any of you guys really play these characters, let me know if you think they need nerfs one way or the other, or buffs one way or the other. But at face value, they seem pretty decent to me. However, Super Saiyan Goku on the other hand, can we get that 2M back, please? Like, there was no need to nerf that. Super Saiyan Goku was great in neutral, he was amazing at it, and while he still does have those same tools, at this point, because of Season 3 giving everybody these other assists, now you have other characters that can play neutral just as well as dish out just as much damage. So Super Saiyan Goku really doesn't have this unique selling proposition that he brings to your team because once again, in Season 3, all the characters got 3 assists. And I really don't think giving this man his 2M back, I don't think it's all that big of a deal. Like, I don't see that being game-breaking in any capacity. So I'd give him that back. I'm not going to go through every single character because there is quite the roster, but I think Captain Ginyu, Nappa, as well as Android 21, my 3 mains, I think they're all fine as they are. I don't really think they need a boost or a nerf one way or the other. Some people might go ahead and say that some of Nappa's 50-50s and restands might need a nerf, but let's be real, how often do you run into Nappas that know those sort of things, right? They might know a couple of combos, yeah, sure, but Nappa alone is rare enough to find, let alone a Nappa who also knows those things. And yes, in the higher ranks, if you find a Nappa player by some lucky chance, they will end up knowing those things, but I don't think it's anything more crazy than the top tier characters have on their own, especially when you consider how bad Nappa's neutral is. I would like to see Janemba get a buff. Alright, so follow me along here. You know how Piccolo used to have like one ball that he would shoot out and it would home in on you? Now he has 2. I would like to see something similar for Janemba. I'm not saying that he needs to shoot 2 green orbs out, but I think it'd be really dope if they added something else to that attack, or if they went ahead and made it more viable for something. I never see Janemba players use that. And to be honest, when you have a character who's not utilizing a tool, that's a waste of a special move if most characters aren't utilizing it, or if it's not viable in many situations. Now granted, he can do some things with this with combos, don't get me wrong, he can certainly rock some combos with that little green thing that he shoots out. But I don't think any Janemba player would argue with me when I say that I wish it was more viable. I wish it was more versatile. Broly can stay right where he's at, man. I know a lot of people are gonna call for some nerfs on this dude. You know, recently they gave him the damage back that he used to have on his special, or his super rather, and I don't think that needs to be changed. The guy is meant to deal bucket loads of damage. And while he is a pain to go ahead and defend against, I do think all of his attacks are pretty honorable. I don't really feel like he has much of anything that's super unreactable. And Jiren, yo, they gotta give Jiren some love. Alright, they gotta buff this man. How is it in the anime and the manga, he is an absolute powerhouse and completely unstoppable, and in the game, he's a complete pushover. And while we're at it, give a similar thing to Videl. Please, for the love of God, give her a move where she has the option to reflect. Similar to how they gave Ginyu a whole level 3, and they also gave UI Goku a whole entire tech option, give Videl the option to reflect. I'm not saying get rid of the spot dodge. The spot dodge is honestly really fun, and in some scenarios, it can sometimes be better than a reflect, oddly enough, because it can lead to the opponent crossing themselves up as they phase through you when you spot dodge. And if they're doing an attack that has a long recovery, well then you can go ahead and snap back on him. So all I'm saying is give us the versatility. It's kind of similar to UI Goku's dodge mechanic versus his reflect mechanic. You know, the 6H isn't always the most optimal thing to go for, but it can certainly help in some scenarios. And they can do the same thing for Videl. Along with that, give this girl a damage buff. There's no reason it should take her 3 or 4 combos in order to go ahead and finish somebody off. Now this is where I want your guys' input, because personally, I think this game is in a really honest place. I think it's in a really good spot as far as balance is concerned, and if you ask me, it's one of the most balanced fighting games I've ever played. That being the case, especially in Season 3, I don't really see a lot of room for buffs and nerfs. But once again, I'm not a pro player. This is where your guys' input comes into play. Let me know who you think needs a buff or a nerf and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Now check it out. If you happen to enjoy today's video, feel free to hit the like button. It really helps the community out. We're trying to grow this channel, and we've grown a really good group of us here. I've really been enjoying it. So if you find yourself enjoying the content, feel free to stick around. Once again, I'm going to be covering all of the latest news for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is a great place to stay up to date. Thank you guys for watching to the end. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.